Hi friends, today we are going to be talking about sourdough using fresh milled flour. This is new to me, and I'm going to kind of show you some of the things that I have encountered and how I have overcome them. I couldn't start this without just kind of talking to you about how this came about with me. First of all, my name is Kimberly McIntyre, and if you are new to my channel, I want to thank you so much for being here. And if you are returning, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you. And if you guys would please leave comments and let me know if you are doing sourdough and if any of you have experienced sourdough with fresh milled flour, because I'm going to tell you it was difficult for me to find recipes, and when I thought I found a recipe, it would be using fresh milled flour in combination with other flour such as all-purpose flour or bread flour or even whole wheat flour from the grocery store, you know, not all fresh milled. So for me to finally find some recipes, when I started this, I was gung-ho and I made bread every single day until I mastered it. And I'll tell you, my first loaf turned out like a brick, and it wasn't garbage. It didn't taste horrible, but it didn't have that chewy texture that you just really love from sourdough. I have been making bread from fresh milled flour for over 18 years. I have learned so much, and a lot of it I have improved on recently, and so bread better than ever. And one thing that I love about my fresh milled flour bread is that I absolutely love the flavor, and it is an amazing way to eat bread because it is so healthy, so nutritious. And I won't get into that in this video, but I have several videos talking about how nutrient dense bread is and how this is not what is causing disease and weight gain. I said I was not going to get deep in this video. One of my cousins came to stay with us for a few months while she was in between housing, and she makes sourdough. So I will have to say it was fabulous. I enjoyed it. I helped her, but what I noticed was she had one of these and she had to feed it every day if she wanted to keep making bread. Now I understand the way that the sourdough starter works now, but in order to keep it going, you have to feed it, and I just wasn't into babysitting. This is what happened to me. And by the way, part of this video, there's going to be an unboxing, and I'm going to get to that in just a minute, which is part of my story, and I find it very exciting, so I wanted to share it with you. Not too long ago, I thought, you know what, I need to be well versed, and even though this isn't what I want to do long term, I think I need to know how to do it. As I was thinking this, and this is literally how it happened, I'm thinking this, I end up going on a trip. So my husband and I and some friends went out to Idaho, where we walked the wheat fields with the owners of Ancient Grains, Jade and Julie Coyle. We flew out there to meet them and just kind of see grain like growing. I've never seen that before, and I wanted to experience that. Well, they invite us to their home, and we walk in their home, and she lets us eat her bread, which is sourdough, and she has her sourdough starter sitting on the counter. And so we start talking about it, and she goes, I'll send it home with you. So I'm like, okay, well, you're going to send it home with me, so that means I have to go home and I have to start making sourdough, which means I have to know how to do it. So I get home, and believe it or not, that sourdough starter, it made it through a few different plane rides. Came home and it was fine. So when I got home, I had this waiting for me, and it is a sourdough starter kit from TeeMars. It is complete with everything that you need except for the starter, but I came home from Idaho with the starter, so it is now time to start making sourdough. I kind of became addicted to the sourdough starter and making sure it continued to grow and become more active, and the whole process, which was kind of crazy. Now I have probably made 7 loaves. I am certainly not a sourdough expert by any means. I have so much to learn. I had to wrap my head around terms that might seem simple to you, but they didn't seem simple to me, such as hydration, percent of hydration, dealing in grams, because it's easier to deal in grams when you're doing your starter and all of those other things. So there has been a big learning curve, but I want to take a break and I want to talk about these items that I find so cool and fun. When I show up at my home, literally, we came home from vacation and sitting on the table was this box, ready for me to start the sourdough journey. So in this box, I want to tell you all about it because it's super fun. The box comes with the list of information and lets know about sourdough baking bread, and it talks about all of the items that are in the box, such as the 34-ounce sourdough glass jar. And I want to tell you what I really love. I love how the jar has a band that goes around it, and so you know when it's doubled. Now obviously you can take a marker and you can mark it with a marker, but I just love the band. I don't have to mark on it. And also it has the days of the week, so if you wanted to, you could put the date when you started it right up front, and so then you just, you remember the date. I also love how the form walks you through creating and maintaining a starter if you had to start one yourself, making the dough and giving some information on that, how to shape and proof, how to score and bake, troubleshooting. It reminds you to have patience and to be willing to experiment, which I certainly have had to do both of those, how to have a journal, because it's smart to record your successes and failures so that you remember in the future. And then it tells a lot about the company. Welcome to TeeMars. We believe that baking goes beyond the kitchen. Their mission is simple: enjoy baking and share love. I love that because as I make bread, it is such an awesome gift. People love bread, and when you can give people bread that is not only nourishing, but it is changing lives as far as health, it is spot on the best, in my opinion, gift to give. And I love to make bread for people and give it to them, and then to hear their stories of how they've healed or how they've gained strength and endurance, and just, they're no longer constipated. The list is long, but that's not what this video is about. Back to the other items in the box. I love this cute little lid because it lets the gases out, if need be. I also love the spatula that it comes with. This is perfect for being able to get down into the jar and really mix your starter, and also when you need to remove part of the starter because it fits all the way down. But I have used this for also mixing up my dough when I am doing it in the bowl. It is an 11-inch silicone spatula for stirring and getting starters out of the container. Next on the list that I think is really fun is that they have these cute little thermometers that you can put on the side of the glass jar, or you can just lay them on your counter, and they tell you what the temperature is, because it's best for the starter to be between 70 and 80 degrees, and so that way you can make sure that the temperature is right in your kitchen and that it's not too cold and it's not too hot. So I'm going to get back to the rest of my unboxing in just a minute, but I actually have sourdough right here. And first of all, I do want to talk about how this has over time become so much more active than when I first got it. When you first start a starter, it's going to take a little bit of time for it to gain that active level. Be patient and just keep feeding it and keep babysitting, and over time it's going to become more active. It's going to grow quicker, which sometimes I don't appreciate. But if you ever need to take a break and you're not ready to make another loaf of bread, you can just store it in your refrigerator for up to 10 days. And then even if it's not time, you're still going to want to take it out. You're going to want to feed it, and then you can put it back in your refrigerator if you're still not ready. I have heard people say that they have put it in the refrigerator, they've just completely ignored it, and then they pull it out and it has what's called hooch at the top, which I haven't experienced this, but apparently it's kind of a dark liquid. They say they just pour it off, make sure they get it all off, and they start feeding it again, and everything is, good to go. So with my starter, the way that I have been doing it, and again, I am not an expert, but I am learning, and if you have some tips, please share. I am not prideful in this at all, and I want to know all that there is to know. So what I'm doing with mine is a 1:1:1 ratio. So whenever it's time to feed this, then I just take out 100 grams grams of my starter. I add 100 grams of water. I add 100 grams of my fresh milled flour. I've experimented with this because I kind of am switching back and forth between different grains. So depending on what bread I'm going to be making for that next day, I will feed it with that flour. So for example, sometimes I'll do a combination of hard red and karazen, and then I will feed it with karazen and hard red. But if I'm switching to a hard white, then I will feed it with hard white. And it has worked really well for me. It's probably really not that complex. I think some of us make it a little, like, what I like is, let's just say we don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about it, it's too much to worry about. So take care of your starter and it'll be fine. It is time for me to do my stretch and fold. I'm not gonna go through a sourdough recipe in this video, that's gonna be another video, but I am gonna show you one of the things that I have learned that really help with getting that nice chew and that formation with the sourdough, and that is with the stretch and fold. And so I was going to use my olive oil, but actually I'm just going to use a little bit of water on my hands. Let me get some water on my hands. So this has been proofing since 7:30 this morning, and it is now 4:30. We're going to take our handy dandy tool. So let's talk about this because this was sent from TeeMars. This comes in the box, and the metal, hey, I've got 3 of these. You know, these, I like this so much better. First of all, this is thinner. It's a thinner edge, so it picks it up better. I love the way that the handle is shaped, and for some reason, and I'm not just saying this because I am giving a review, I'm being honest about what I am telling you. And by the way, if I ever give you a review, you're gonna get honesty from me, and you'll see that in when I do my cellulite challenge video. That's later. But anyway, so I love how, you know, just pick it up and it gets it all clean. And so what we have to do is kind of get some tension in this bread, and it's very sticky. So I'm gonna put some flour down and on top and a little bit on my hands. And just to let you know, my granddaughter is here, and so you might see her in a minute and it might get kind of loud, but that's okay. Okay, so when we stretch, and if you are new to, okay, let me just back up. First of all, yes, you can make sourdough, amazing sourdough with just fresh milled flour. We don't have to add anything else to it. Now, are you gonna get those beautiful loaves that you can do all of that artwork on? I don't know, maybe not. But to me, the nutrients is way more important, and you can make it pretty, which I will show you. But anyways, we do a stretch and fold so that we can start getting some tension. And this is my first stretch and fold. So every time we do it, it's a new story because it starts getting that tension and then it starts to come together. I'm gonna do 4 stretch and folds. And so I do a stretch and fold, and then I wait 20 minutes, and then I do another stretch and fold, and I do that, basically, I do it 4 times, and then it won't be too much longer after that before time to bake bread. So let me get enough tension in here to where I can do my stretch and folds. So when you pull it like this, it releases those fibers, and you see that it's very sticky and it's pulling apart, but that's not going to happen next time. So every time I'm pushing this around, it's just kind of building up tension. Somebody's up. I told him about you. One thing that I do like is in this bread, it is just water, starter, flour, and salt. That's it. So someone who is on a no sugar diet, they can have this bread, and there's no oil. So I wanted to make one with oil and a little bit of honey, and I will tell you that the little one standing right over there begs for it. And today, after she was done with lunch, she pointed to the loaf and she said, more, more bread, didn't you? You wanted more bread. Are you gonna get up here in my video? Is Pappy gonna get your stool? Pappy gonna get your stool? And by the way, you saw my starter, and what that is saying is, hey, it's time to discard and feed me again. Because it's a hungry little guy. Hey, are we making bread? We making bread? Can you tell them the sign for more? What do you do when you want more?
More.
With your hands. What do you do with your hands? Put them together? See, my hands are messy, but do your more? More? Yeah, see, her parents have taught her well. Does this look fun? Did you just get up from your nap? Uh-huh. All right, well, Yaya's got to put this up, and we're going to come back to it in 20 minutes, and I'll let you see how that just like completely changed, and I'm going to wash my hands. So I have never used, and I think these are called Banneton basket, and if I'm saying that wrong, sourdough people, please forgive me. They are BPA-free, food-grade silicone, and it can withstand temperatures of up to 446 degrees. First of all, I love how they can be stored like this. You want to hold that one? I have not worked with a Banneton basket, but I have heard many say that they hate how the bread will stick and that they have to make sure that they flour it. And I've even heard people say you had better use rice flour or it's still going to stick no matter what. There was no sticking in these baskets. I've used them both several times now. I told you I've made 7 loaves of bread, and there was no sticking whatsoever, and they are super easy to clean. So I have really appreciated these, and I just learned something new that I didn't know, but you can bake in these. So if you're baking your bread, which I bake mine at 375, these work well. I love these silicone baskets. How about I take that? It'll be easier for you to get down. Okay, now you can get down.
Did you mention dishwasher?
Oh, you can also put these in the dishwasher. My husband wanted me to let you know that because that's a great feature too. You don't have to just hand wash them. But I've heard people talk about how in their Banneton basket, how mold and stuff would get stuck in there. You don't have to worry about that with these. Awesome feature, and thank you TeeMars for being so smart. This, and I think this is called a lom. These are new to me, so I'll call it a razor blade, and we use this to score the breads. And so I'm happy to have one of these because I do like to do bread art even on my typical bread that's not sourdough. Also our extra blades, and I love how they have the little safety cover to put over that. What'd you say it?
Sheaf.
Sheaf?
Sheaf.
A sheaf. Is that what it's called?
Pretty sure it's a sheaf.
Okay, but anyway, they have one. So I've enjoyed everything and have used every item that has come in this box. What we're going to do right now is we're going to feed our starter because Little Bits over here wants to play, and I'm going to let her. By the way, we have this adorable stool over here that is great for toddlers when you are willing to allow them to help you in the kitchen, and I hope that you are, because this is a great place for them to learn. And you can get this on Amazon. That's where I got this from, and I'll put the link in the description below. So we'll talk about the starter just for a minute. For those of you new to sourdough or ready to get started, we have to feed the sourdough after it is doubled because it will start to fall, and then it's hungry, so it's got to be fed so that it will stay active. We have to have a discard, and that was confusing to me at first. I'm like, I don't even understand what that means. And then I felt guilty because I was throwing stuff away, but you don't want to keep your discard. I did try to make some pancakes and it was disgusting. I'm sorry, I don't know what was wrong with my discard, but it tastes like metal, so I don't recommend that. Maybe somebody else has had some good luck with that. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to put 100 grams of the sourdough starter in here. You ready to help? Yep, okay. You gonna help it out? Help it out. Okay, and so we gotta get 100 grams, and let's get that, yeah. Thank you so much. You're such a big help. And we're almost there, so let's just gently. Okay, we're at 93, just a teensy. Oh, there we are. We're at 100. Okay, so you could use this for another starter if you wanted to, but what's going to happen is eventually you're just going to have so much and you're going to need a 20-gallon bucket of starter, right? What are you going to do with that? No. So feel free to throw it in the trash and don't put it down your drain because your garbage disposal will not like you. So this is going in the trash. And now we are going to put 100 grams of my fresh milled flour. Ready? Whoa, let's get, okay, there we go. There we go. Yay, good job. Okay, so now we have almost.
Yeah.
You leaving me? 100 grams. So now we're gonna add 100 grams of water, mix it up, and we're done. All right, let's sear it out. Okay, do you wanna help?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gotta go in here. Can you lift? Lift and pour. We gotta pour slow. Whoop. Perfect. Stir, stir, stir. Perfect. And then we're gonna put our band on, and it usually takes about 6 to 8 hours for it to double in size. And once it doubles in size and it has those big bubbles on the side, it's good to go. All right, we've got that going. I will put the link in the description below that you can order this little kit, and if you order through my link, you will get a discount. I love tools that help make my life easier, and this is definitely one of them, especially since I didn't know what in the world I was doing. And I gotta say, it was a little overwhelming, and I kept saying, I don't wanna do this, I don't wanna do this, but I did. I'm glad I did. Truth time, because I told you I will always be honest with you. Come closer, because I have to tell you a secret. I prefer the flavor of my other bread, and it is so much easier to make, okay? But there are those people who absolutely love this process, and they find it incredibly like a stress reliever. I have heard that from people. She's asking for the bread. Bread, is that what you want? Okay. And I'll show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you. I made a sandwich loaf out of hard red and Karazan. I keep wanting to say Kamut, but Kamut is the brand. It's a brand name, and I have Karazan from Ancient Grains. And by the way, I will put Ancient Grains link in the description below. If you would like to order some Karazan, they are ancient grains. So Karazan, einkorn, emmer, things like that. One of the reasons why we went to visit them is because I wanted to talk to the farmer who is doing an amazing job with regenerative farming. I have a lot of information coming out for you in the future about that farm and the family, and they are precious people. So anyways, if you would like to order from them, but also if you would like to order the hard red or the hard white, I love 4 Generations as well. And they're located in Oklahoma, and both of them are doing an amazing job. And it's been a really good partnership because they cover different grains. Put that in the link below. Anyways, let me go ahead and put some butter on this. She's already getting in her seat, ready to eat the bread of life. Bread?
Bread?
So if you would be interested in the TeeMars sourdough starter kit, I will put a link in the description below. And if you use that link, you also get a little discount. All right, it is time for my second stretch and fold. Much different this time. Wow, it's coming together. So now I'm just gonna put that to bed and get back to it in 20 minutes. It's time for my last stretch and fold. And then I'm going to put it in the silicone basket to proof. It smells nice. Nice and yeasty. I'm going to go ahead and flour the basket, and then I'm going to work on the tension a little bit by doing a little bit of rolling. I haven't had a problem with it sticking, but just in case. To me, this would make the perfect pizza dough. Delightful pizza. So now I'm going to shape it and put it in my basket. Isn't that pretty? This looks beautiful. I'm just going to do a gracious little stripe down the side, and this will not have a big beautiful ear like the white flour does. We're just going to release a little tension there. And then right before we put it in the oven, I will put some egg wash on it.
And I use the silicone brush to brush the top of the dough to give the bread a nice sheen.
I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to cover it so it doesn't dry out. And I'm going to put it in there for probably about 2 hours or until it doubles in size. And then I'm going to bake it. I also know that dough loves moisture. So I am going to spray the oven with water continuously throughout the process.
I baked it at 375 degrees until it reached an internal temperature of 210. This loaf was delicious, and it had that amazing chew. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
It smells so good. Nice crust. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and if you would please like and subscribe, share this with people that you know would enjoy my content. Sharing really does help the algorithm move a little faster, and this has become my passion. It's something that I am very serious about, and I would like to grow. I will be sharing this particular sourdough recipe along with the other ones that I have been practicing, but that will be in another video. Stay tuned and hit that notification bell so that you'll be reminded when it comes out and you won't miss it. In the comments below, if you will please let me know your sourdough journey. Have you used 100% fresh milled flour in your sourdough recipes? So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.